All right, happy Wednesday. Day 2 of planning out our myth. So let's take a look. Yesterday, so we're going to open up the weekly assignment. And yesterday we were planning it out in this chart, thinking about what symbols, what character trait, where this is going to take place, who's going to be in it, and so on. Now let's get down to telling our story. Okay, so I'm going to have you fill out this sort of general story map here based on the plot diagram. This example, the top one is an example, and then you'll fill out down below for your story. Just kind of map out where you're going. So remember, you have the background or the exposition, the rising action, climax, falling action, and then resolution. So they're going to tell the story in this example of the myth of Medusa and Athena. Athena must not like people who are braggers, huh? It's another Athena one. So, setting is a long time ago, once upon a time in Athens, Greece. You could be more specific in yours, like where in Athens, Greece. But the main characters, protagonist is who it's about, Medusa. And the antagonist, the person that they struggle against, is Athena. You don't need to necessarily break it down that way, but who is the main character in your story? And then you're going to make up a character, right? You're not going to use somebody that exists. And you can include gods that you researched with your invented character of your own. Yeah, don't retell a myth that already exists. Make up your own. So rising action. What happens here? So in this story, Medusa was proud and boasted about how beautiful her skin, hair, eyes, and lips were. Later on, she visited the Parthenon, a beautiful temple for the goddess Athena. When she was in the temple, she thought the sculptures and artwork would have been better if they were about her instead of the goddess Athena. That's pretty, that's a good one. So she thought this would be better if these statues were about me. And the climax, you might argue that the climax happens a little later in this story. That's kind of, sometimes people argue, when is the climax in a story? What is the most, like the part where the plot turns? But this person's interpretation said, the moment before we know the answer, Medusa said that it was a waste to build a temple for Athena, and someday people might build a better temple for her because of her beauty. Not good to say in a god's house inside their temple. When she said this, people left the temple. They got the heck out of there because they were scared of what might happen. Good call. And that was when Athena heard Medusa saying that stuff. This might be, I don't know, in the climax, but this person believes it to be the falling action. So for them, the height of the action was her expressing outwardly her thoughts about she's better than the goddess, right? So Athena heard what Medusa said about her beauty, and she told Medusa that beauty doesn't comfort the sick, teach the unskilled, or feed the hungry. There's a lot more to life than beauty. And Athena told Medusa that she would take away her beauty as a reminder to others to not be proud. So it looks like this part is a lot. These two parts here are the moral to the story, right? What lesson could be learned. And then the catastrophe at the end, the result, the resolution. Athena turned Medusa's hair into snakes. We kind of know that part of the story, right? I hope you do. And her face became so hideous that it could turn men to stone if they looked at it. And she had to live the rest of her life with the blind Gorgon sisters at the ends of the earth, kill people by turning them to stone. Okay, so I want you to just use this kind of diagram here on your own myth. Where does it take place? What's the situation when the story begins? The curtain goes up on your myth. What's happening? Who's the main character? Who is the probably god that is going to be going against them? Rising action, what events happen after we have our first scene here? The curtain comes up. We understand this is happening in a village with, these characters. This is the situation. Then rising action, you move your story along with a couple of events. And then the climax, at the height of the action, what's going to happen to your character? And then you've got falling action and resolution. What do we learn from this? Something bad happens to your character. What do we learn from it? And forever after, people learn what? Okay, so fill this out, and that will be today's assignment. All right, have a great day, and tomorrow we will begin writing our myths.